Howdy everybody, it's JAG here. This here be a digital miner. This is what has put me out of business. Unlike a quarry, which requires all these different parts and everything, once you get this big bubba built up, it just goes to town. You just got to program it, give it power, and it starts eating everything that you tell it to. So let's go and take a look here. It says hello there. Unfortunately, that's all these screens seem to do. Right now it's on. I've got 1,500 blocks that I'm digging through that are left to get. Let's go and break this, because unfortunately this is the only way to go and get to the configuration once it's started, is to restart it. So I mean, you notice we have power. These big boys, they got a lot of power. That said, for what I am extracting at the moment, it will take about 2 of these big boys, maybe a little more. You have an internal buffer, and right now we are going for things like Certus, ruby, nickel, gold, etc. All the things that are a little bit harder to get a hold of, or are, shall we say, a little bit more interesting when it comes to processing. So let's pop on inside the machine. You see we have this button called config. You can only get this when you first set up the machine. So if you start it, you're going to have to break it and get back into config if you want to change anything. We also have a couple other buttons over here. Auto eject, that will pop stuff out into an inventory, which this all is being held because I got something else that's being popped out at the moment. And you have an automatic silk touch button. You do not have to enchant, build, add, or do anything. It automatically will silk touch if you want it to silk touch, which, given the other stuff we've got in the game, like the nickel, I can get platinum out of nickel ore. So we want to silk touch the nickel ore. Not that it makes a real lot of difference. Let's give you something else. Here we go, rubies. So if we silk touch the ruby ore, helps if you spell. Instead of getting just 1 ruby, you can get 2 rubies. You can get 1 ruby, just like breaking it. The enrichment chamber will get you 2. Furnace will get you 1. Anodizers 2, pulverizer 2. You go into the tectonic initiator, you can get 3, crushers 2. The point is, you can get a lot more than 1. And in some things like Certus quartz, this is significant. You can get like 5 or 6 or 8 or something of these if you run them through the right machine, instead of 1, maybe 2. The config, you set up filters. You say new filter. I tend to use item stack just because it is extremely specific. I get very specific things. So I click item stack. I drop an example into this. It'll give you the readout if everything works, and then you click save. And that adds it to the list. If you want to change the list, you can delete items and put new items in. You also have to set your statistics here. Max height 68. You have to type in your 68 and click the check mark. If you do not click the check mark, it will not take. Radius maximum of 32. So I had to type in 32, click check, and it will go all the way down to level 0. The max is important. You do not want to go and mine yourself out of your area. You will fall, you will die. And this is the inverse mode. Right now we are in direct mode. Inverse is off. I am collecting all of the items that I have listed. If I were in inverse mode, I would click everything but the items that were listed. So they don't really have a blacklist and a whitelist function. They have an on or an off function, which is a little bit problematic sometimes. So everything's set up. The visuals, this will show you the area that you are mining. Sometimes helpful, sometimes not. And then your power, of course, and your redstone. And you can lock it so nobody else can get it. So if I go click, I'm the only one that can get into this machine. Yay. Config's done. We're going to hit start. And it tells us there are 1,530 odd eligible blocks. And it will just keep chunking away until it either runs out of power or runs out of blocks or the internal buffer is packed. So that's about it. You don't have all the clutter that you had with the, what do you call them? The quarries, even though the quarries are a little bit prettier, I think. This is just a beast. It is efficient. It is practical. But old style mining, if you're into that sort of thing, it's going to put you out of business. It put me out of business. I am not needed to collect resources anymore. Not for the colony. They have other ways. They have another beast, an excavator, which is part of immersive engineering that will get immense amounts of singular or minimal number of items that don't actually even exist down here in the ground. They just kind of pull them out of thin air. Where's the fun in that? I want to get my hammer out. Where's my hammer? There's my hammer. I want to get my hammer out and I want to beat something. I want to get ore. I don't like this newfangled stuff. Too much like the modern world. Wife calls me a Luddite. You know what a Luddite is? It's a word. It's a word that means you're practical. You don't buy into all this digital garbage. It means you have your hands on the real world. That's what Luddite is. It's a compliment. Don't ever think that it's an insult. We need more Luddites today. Get out there and Lud something. Boom. Catch you later. It's been JAG. It's been fun. By the way, don't know if I showed you this before. Yeah, I do buy into some things. Not the best jetpack I've ever had, but it does the job. Toodles. Yeah, it is important to note that if you do not have a registry of some form, you cannot set up your filters. So you do have to do some digging initially. This is a problem if you are searching for ultra rare materials. So, like platinum. If you don't have a piece of platinum or you can't make a piece of platinum or you can't put it in your machine to detect it. What I have, yeah, that looks like the right one. Let's go in here, take a look. So what I have is a list of things that I am searching for. And I have these plugged into, well, most of them. I don't have the hardened sand plugged in yet, but things that I am looking for. I do not have ore samples for all of the gems yet. I have tanzanite, I have emerald, and I have diamond. That is it. I do not have the other gems. Oh, and I got ruby. I do not have the other gem ores. So I periodically have to run the digital miner in inverse mode over a small area to see if I can, by chance, pick up some more. I have not gotten a lapis block yet. The other alternative would be to take it somewhere and make a great big ugly pit. Oh, there's a Psycho Steve down there. Wonderful. Or to go underground and make a big ugly pit and dispose of a lot of stuff, which you would have to, use sorting pipes or trash pipes or what have you. That's the other problem. If you ain't got it, you can't get it. Whereas if you're a Luddite, if you ain't got it, you can get it. You just got to look hard enough. That's the rest of my advice on this one. Toodles.